Okay, so, welcome to another Who Would Win? Yeah, this fight kind of spawned out of nowhere, really. Yeah, and this is another tag team matchup, and this time around, it's going to be a tag team between Cyclonis and Dark Ace versus Vader and Palpatine. Actually, I could probably pinpoint where I thought of this fight. During my shipping video, I kind of made the mention that, yeah, Vader, Cyclonis and Dark Ace are very much like Palpatine and Vader. They're the Stormhawk's version of those two characters. You know, you have the master who knows everything and has a second-in-command who's this former hero of almost like a republic, and then betrays and kills almost all of his friends, and then becomes like the fist of that person in their empire. Yeah. It is very much like Vader and Palpatine. So yeah, two Sith Lords versus Cyclonians. How will this go? Now let's talk a bit about Cyclonis and Dark Ace. Both of them are very powerful. They're both very intelligent. They're both these guys will kill you in a heartbeat. Cyclonis is a crystal mage with a vast array of powers. She can, of course, fly. She has the ability to shoot energy blasts from her staff, and even at some points her hands. She can also, in some cases, apparently, according to the staff, she could manipulate gravity and even matter at some points. So Cyclonis also has, in some cases, she can double her strength and durability through her crystals. Her crystals give her everything. And even without the crystals, she's actually a pretty good hand-to-hand fighter. Not bad for a 14, 15-year-old girl, more or less. So, yeah, that is a, that is a scary, scary thought. That is a, and imagine if she got older. Now, Dark Ace doesn't really have crystal powers. He does carry a crystal, but it's for his sword, and he was once known as the undefeatable Cyclonian pilot. And yeah, he is even out of his switchblade. That's the name of his skimmer. He's actually a brilliant he's incredibly intelligent, a brilliant swordsman, and an excellent hand-to-hand fighter. Also, the two have something they have a connection called the Binding, which is this ability where basically Cyclonis can give power to Dark Ace. She can quintessentially give power to Dark Ace and allow him to either be superhumanly fast or, incredibly strong or nearly invulnerable. She can use this power, and, they're connected through that. But however, as we saw in the series finale, I guess you could say the series finale, Dark Ace was blown up. Yeah, she gave him too much power, and she blew him up by accident. Oops. So yeah, there is a limit to how much power he can use. Now, yeah, so there you go, guys. These two together are incredibly dangerous. Dark Ace is apparently fiercely loyal to Cyclonis, and much like how Vader was, at a point, severely loyal to the Emperor. But anyway, so there you go, guys. Now, of course, I don't think I need to say much about Vader and Palpatine. I don't think I need to say much about Vader and Sheev Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious. But for anyone else out of the know, real quick, I'm just going to go over a few things Of course, Vader is... there's not really much to say about Vader. Incredibly durable. He is also a practitioner of the Form 5 saber combat Digemso, Digemso is the saber combat which is based in heavy strikes that are they're devastating. And they're mostly used by Sith. That was Darth Bane's preferred lightsaber style as well. And Vader is also very well adapted in the Force. Obviously, being during his time as Anakin Skywalker, Vader was very gifted in the Force. And yeah, he may have lost all of his limbs and given a cybernetic body. And slow, but you have to remember, Vader's a tank. This guy can survive a majority of things. Even if his rebreather is destroyed, he can call on the Force to keep himself alive for a good amount of time. And then we have the Emperor. Emperor Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious. Now, Sidious is one of the most registered as one of the most powerful Sith Lords in the history of Star Wars. Yeah, one of the most powerful. And yeah, Palpatine is don't let the age and, the scarred face fool you. He didn't lose a step at all. Palpatine, of course, we know that he is very adept in the Force. He's actually, as one person called it, he is like a cyclone, he's like a vortex of darkness that envelops everything around him. He is incredibly well adapted in the Force. He is also even though he's more used to using his Force powers rather than his lightsaber, he's actually well trained in all 7 forms of lightsaber combat. But the 2 he usually uses, he kind of leans on the most, are Nemon, which is the 6th form, which is it's a jack of all trades kind of saber combat, and it's also connected to the Force. He also leans heavily on another form called Vapad, which if you don't know what Vapad is it's a Sith form. It's a Sith form in a sense where you put your emotions, namely your aggression, into your moves, into these fast, hard striking movements that are incredibly fast and very powerful, very devastating. But you have to put your anger into it. And trust me, Sith have a lot of anger. But like I said, Palpatine is well practiced in all forms of saber combat. The only person who probably had any chance against him was Mace Windu, who was also a practitioner of Vapad and could keep up with Palpatine. However, there has, and again, don't let the age fool you. This dude managed to go toe-to-toe with Yoda and beat him in a fight. Then again, Yoda, apparently, his mind was clouded by all the deaths of the Jedi. Had he discovered Palpatine sooner as Darth Sidious, he may have been able to defeat the Emperor. Anyway, so there you go, guys. Yeah, Sith Lords versus Cyclonians. How would this go down? Now, Vader and Sidious are incredibly well adapted in the Force, and together, if you guys have read Star Wars Lords of the Sith, they actually can work in tandem perfectly. They can easily work as a formed group and, coordinate very well. Their connection through the Force is very strong as a Sith Master and Apprentice. You also have Cyclonis and Dark Ace. While they're not Force sensitive, they do have the binding which connects them. And of course, like I said, the binding can be used to make like I said, Vader and Palpatine can use the Force, but however, Cyclonis and Dark Ace can use their crystals to try to counter that. Vader isn't exactly the fastest person, and even with the Force, he can still be a little slow. And Dark Ace is incredibly nimble, he's incredibly fast, and he's an excellent swordsman. And I'm pretty sure his sword, which also is the blade is made of energy, I'm pretty sure it could go on par with a lightsaber. So he could be able to, duel Vader. And also, let's not forget that the binding, if Cyclonis uses her binding powers on Dark Ace, he could easily become stronger and even faster than Vader. But however, Vader can take a lot of punishment, so Dark Ace could be chopping and hacking and slashing away at him, and Vader could still be going, depending on the amount of damage he takes. And the fight between, Cyclonis and Sidious, Sidious is incredibly powerful in the Force, but despite her age, Cyclonis is pretty powerful in her own right. She can, like I said, create force fields, fly, all this kind of stuff, but on the other hand, Palpatine... Sidious can cast lightning from his fingertips, even create a force storm, which is a very hard Sith form, or even just Jedi form of force combat to even master. And he could just create a storm out of just thin air, really. He can just instantly, but boop, storm right there. So this is a really tough one. Despite her, again, you may be saying, well, she's only 14, she doesn't really have a lot of experience. Oh no, she was, apparently, she was well groomed to be an empress, and she's smarter than her age lets on. And with Dark Ace on her side, they're a formidable duo. But that's not to discredit Vader. Of course, you can't discredit the evil that is Vader and Sidious. You cannot deny the fury and the evil and the power both Vader and Sidious have at their command. So, yeah, I'm going to let you guys decide. Who do you think would win? If you think Cyclonis and Dark Ace would win, put hashtag Cyclonians win and list off the reasons why you think they would win. Or, if you think Vader and Palpatine would win, put hashtag the Sith win. And list off the reasons why you think the Sith would come out on top in this matchup. Really interested to see what you guys have to say about this one. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.